We have made it. It is the night before the draft. All kinds of stuff popping off today. Things are starting to heat up. Let's talk about it. Let's vibe out. You guys already know what to do. Drop an SDS in the chat. Smash that like button. Let's go. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. Oh, what is going down, everybody? Oh, it is time. We are so very close to all the speculation, the questions, the rumors, all of it, for the most part, I would say, to at least be answered. So, Merry Draftmas Eve to you all. Around this time, let's see, the draft starts at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I don't know if the Niners will be on the clock yet. I don't think they would have picked yet, but they would be close potentially. So we'll see. Who did the 49ers draft in the Bleacher Report mock draft? I ended up selecting, I took Cooper DeJean at 31. It was a difficult challenge, I will say that. I could show you how the board played out. I actually have our little sheet right here in front of us. So this is how the board played out. So you can see where the picks were made. Guys that I was like trying to hopefully get were guys like Kool-Aid, potentially Darius Robinson, and these were the options that I had to choose from. And based on those options, I felt like it had to be cornerback. So it's between Nate Wiggins out of Clemson and Cooper DeJean. So I went Cooper out of Iowa. I felt like he fit what the 49ers do better. He offers some return versatility and a really good zone cornerback. So in the Bleacher Report mock draft, I had the 49ers selecting Cooper DeJean. If you don't like defensive line in the first round, you will hate my last mock draft. But honestly, I'm so happy. I'm mocked out. I'm mock draft out because, to be honest, the 49ers can do whatever they want at pick 31. They could go D-line. They could go center. They could go tackle. They could go quarterback. They could do whatever the hell they want to do. And I think that's a spot where you want to be. So I'm excited to just watch it play out tomorrow. I'm excited to see I'm excited to see how the 49ers actually play this. Obviously, one of the big things that we'll be looking out for are the situation with Brandon Aiyuk, if he gets traded tomorrow or not. I really hope it takes a first round pick at minimum to potentially trade for BA. I don't want to trade BA. I hope that doesn't happen. But I want to feel assured that if BA isn't traded in the first round and we go to sleep tomorrow, that we are like, all right, BA's here to stay. I didn't like the Mike Silver report talking about how the 49ers could potentially maybe take a second and combine that with another pick. And I was like, nah, I don't want that to happen. So my thing is obviously the Detroit Lions. Did they pull a galaxy brain move by getting Amon-Ra St. Brown paid? Because he set the tone for the market, and Amon-Ra and Brandon Aiyuk, I think they're very similar. They're obviously, you can make the case one's better than the other. We're obviously going to side with Brandon Aiyuk, more efficient with less targets, all those different types of things. He's not the like official number one wide receiver, uh, and all that stuff. And oh, and dude, I am so shocked that this sickness isn't going away. I'm so used to being like sick for maybe like 3 days. Um, we're going on a week now. This thing is not going away. It's kind of pissing me off a little bit because, anyways, um, I just think I don't even know what the hell I was talking about. Um, but in regards to the Brandon Ayuk situation, I think I was saying Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Detroit Lions, that whole situation. Uh, Ian Rappaport said something that was really interesting that kind of caught my ear. He said that because this deal got done, this actually might help a team solidify an offer to Brandon Ayuk that he might accept. Um, and if the 49ers get what they're looking for, two, which is a first round draft pick, uh, it'll be interesting. I'm in the same boat. I'll be very sad if Brandon Ayuk gets traded. I won't be shocked at all. Um, I won't be shocked at all. It's pretty hilarious to watch some the change in the comments because people have been yelling at me for like 2 months. Just covering the topic like I would cover any other topic, but because they don't like the topic, they scream at me. Even if I cover it and approach it in a rational point of view, but of course it's out there, so I talk about it. Uh, but all that conversation has changed within the last 24 hours. People are like, actually, like, oh, wait, we actually might trade Brandon Ayuk. It's like, yeah, yeah, we might. I've been trying to tell you for like 2 months that this is a real possibility. Is it going to happen? No clue. We'll find out tomorrow. But man, it's just been a wild ride, and I'm super excited for the draft to be here because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of talking about it. I want closure. I want to know one way or the other. Is BA here? BA gone? If BA's here, phenomenal. If BA's gone, sucks. But we know, we know, and we'll be forced to move on. We'll be forced to adjust. We'll be forced to uh, keep it pushing. Like I said, it would suck because I want BA to be a Niner for a long time, but I also want him to get paid. And if the 49ers aren't going to pay him, which the 49ers have their own right to do what they want to do and how they want to manage the situation and manage the cap. That's their right. And if they don't feel like they want to pay BA right now based on what the market rate is, then they should trade him. Because trying to force Brandon Ayuk to play at $14.1 million just seems like a terrible idea. Um, if the 49ers really aren't uh if they're really not intending on paying Brandon Ayuk before this year and they're really thinking about doing that, then trade him. Like try to get a good deal. Don't trade him just to trade him. But again, man, like players are worth what they're worth. And I understand if it doesn't work based on the other contracts and everything that you got going. But I think trying to make him play at 14.1 is that's not a good idea at all. So, man, we'll see. Uh, Lynch said he wanted him here for a long time. They haven't BS'd us yet. Yeah, of course. But I think one thing that I learned very early on in covering the NFL, especially in this time of the year, and when general managers talk about players and contracts and potential stuff like that, I don't listen to it. You know, not that I'm like, oh, you know, just immediately reject it. It's more of a I if I was a general manager and I stand up to that podium, um, I'm going to say what suits and benefits my interests the most when it comes to player negotiations, contracts, and roster movement. Um, and that's no fault at John Lynch. It's no fault at any general manager. Just like when Dave Gettleman came to the podium and said we didn't sign OBJ to trade him, and then they traded him. So like I said in real time, I appreciated what he said. It was optimistic. If he really wanted Brandon Aiyuk here or whatever, I would say there'd be more definitive language. And that's not to say he doesn't want BA here. It's just more so of the fact that we can look back at what he said potentially after a trade and be like, yeah, they wanted him here, but it didn't things they got an offer they couldn't refuse, or you know, things change, things evolve. When he was asked, "Is Brandon Ayuk going to be on the roster on Friday?" He's, "I wouldn't anticipate that he wouldn't." I wouldn't. I can say that about a lot of things. I wouldn't anticipate a lot. A lot of things, but things change. So when it comes to just coach, general manager, doesn't even have to be our guys. This goes for all 32 teams. I've always had that mindset and that mentality, and it's protected me more often than not. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I hope he gets paid. I hope he stays. But I also understand that this is the NFL. If Tyreek Hill can get traded from the Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs, Brandon Aiyuk can get traded from the 49ers. So I don't like to have the mindset that nothing is finite, like, oh, it's not going to happen. I wish that it didn't happen. I wish these conversations weren't happening. I wish we would have maybe gotten Brandon Ayuk paid in season. Is that a thing we can start doing? Like, I like, is there a route of like, hey, we understand that X player at the end of the year, we're going to enter contract negotiations. example, if they start playing well in season, what if you're like, you know what? We're just going to give you a contract extension in season and we're going to save a little bit of money and you're going to get paid now. I don't know. I'm not a cap expert. That stuff is way over my head. But it's just like a thought process, a thought process that I have of like, well, what if we got it done sooner? Could you theoretically save money by paying them when the market is lower? Like you go buy a house. You don't want to buy a house when the market is just super inflated and everything is top dollar. You kind of want the bubble to burst a little bit and you kind of want it to fall back down. You want to get good interest rates and right? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Again, above my pay grade. I just hope it gets done. I hope it gets done. And but I'm excited, man. 49ers going to have a bunch of new players. We got a first round draft pick. I would love to see them trade up. I think that would be ideal. Wesley says, Brad, describe what kind of setback the team might have if BA is traded. Ugh. I think it would be a setback. Um, I think of the first thing that pops into my head is that missed touchdown opportunity in the divisional round playoff game against the Packers when Ray McLeod ran the wrong route. And because he ran the wrong route, Brock Purdy missed him. And, you think of the timing, you think of how much those guys played together. Not all that much. That's what concerns me about bringing in a new kind of rookie wide receiver. Obviously, Jawan Jennings would step into a much larger role. I would say Chris Conley would step into a much larger role. Chris Conley might be a guy that we would see much more than we would anticipate. And they would have to draft a wide receiver definitely in the top 100 picks, but most likely in the top 60. And my hardest thing with that is we saw how difficult it was and how hard and how much work BA put in to be where he's at right now. And I feel like Brandon Aiyuk is going to have a better season this upcoming year than he did last year. And it's like, I want him to have that season with us. Like, I want that development and that potential to be realized with us. Again, I'm a 49er fan, so why wouldn't I? But that has to happen under the situation of paying him. Like, we have to pay him. And if we don't, and we choose not to, I do think it's a bit of a setback. I mean, it obviously all depends on what the 49ers are getting in return. Are they getting a draft pick? Are they getting a draft pick and a player? What other wide receivers are they bringing in free agency? But I think initially it would be a setback. Because when I envision the 49ers challenging for a Super Bowl next year, I envision BA being a part of that. And I actually envision a world where I could see Kyle's offense evolving a little bit. I could see Kyle's offense taking a step forward. And, we think of Kyle being run first. I could see them throwing more. I think we saw that last year. I think there was instances where we're like, dude, why aren't you running the ball? I think he feels so confident with Brock that he feels that he can put the ball in Brock's hands and Brock's going to put the ball in a good situation. And I feel the same way too. But I think he could evolve the offense a little bit to fit that, which is more three wide than he typically runs. And you want BA in that situation. But we'll see. Yeah, Steelers made some room today. The Steelers are loving the idea of getting BA. They absolutely do. Um, and I'll kind of open this up. Feel free to ask questions. I'm just kind of chilling tonight. Again, I'm sick as a dog. Oh yeah, finally, I finally got around to it. Finally got around to Jamari Thrash. I really like what I saw. Uh, One thing that I was not expecting from Jamari Thrash was he doesn't get tackled very easily. At least, in what I saw from it, like the plays that I saw from him, I was like, yeah, he doesn't get tackled very easily. It's like he's really fighting. Like he's fighting for additional yards. He's fighting to stay up. Um, he comes across, we talk about it all the time, right? Like we look at our wide receiver room and we're like, we got dogs everywhere. Jawan, Debo, BA, we've seen some Ronnie Bell dogs show up. Jamari has that. Excuse me. Man. Woo! Woo! God, this thing sucks. But yeah, I really like what I've seen from him. He has the suddenness to him. He's smooth. He's very smooth. Smooth. I know you've talked about him as a route runner. I see it. He has like this buttery element to him. I don't know how to explain it. He obviously runs good routes. He's crisp in and out of his breaks. So far, what I've seen from him, he has good hands as well. Uh, but the things that stood out to me are like the smooth nature in which he moves and how he doesn't always go down on first contact. And he looks like a guy who would go down on first contact. He kind of looks like Danny Gray a little bit. Um, I was like, oh, he's he's kind of a dog. Uh, so yeah, I like him. I do. It took me forever to get into it. But I came away seeing the vision for sure. Uh, he's good. And, I think the perceived, still think he's what, like 5'11, right? It's not terribly small or anything but like that, but uh he does feel like a guy who'll be hanging around in the fourth round and you could absolutely snatch him up. And he seems like a guy who could develop out of the slot really well. He can obviously play on the outside too. So I enjoyed watching his tape. So it's like I would say like my prototypical slot in this draft is Malik Washington. I would say Jacob Cowing's like a slot, but I would say Jacob Cowing is more so he does show like he could be a Tyler Lockett type player in my opinion, play inside out regardless of his size. Um and then Jamari Thrash was he's 5'11", 6 foot. Uh, Decent size. Uh, he's pretty solid. Yeah, I like him. Good route runner, good movement ability, got some dog in him for sure. Devonta Smith. I can see a little Devonta in there. Who does he remind me of? Maybe a little Brandon Cooks, a little bit. How big is Brandon Cooks? Brandon Cooks kind of small though. How big are you, Cooks? 5'10", 189. So they're actually really close in size. Kind of got some Brandon Cooks. I think he's smoother. There's a smoother element to what Jamari has to offer. But man, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for it to be here. Can't wait. Um, what do I think of Javon Baker? I mean, to be honest, I have not watched Javon. Let's watch him right now. I got to do some last bit of crunching. Um, but we can pull up some Javon Baker right now. We got time. We're chilling tonight. We are chilling tonight. I'm just vibing. Let's see. Who did we want? We wanted Javon Baker, right? Let's do Baker versus Oklahoma. That's a nice move. Am I going live during the draft? Not confirmed yet, but I believe so. I got a couple engagements tomorrow. I'll be on 95.7 the game before the draft. Then I'll be on Cron 4 after the draft. Um, I'm waiting on one other thing. But yeah, there's a good chance we might just do a watch party. Just vibe. Just vibe out, watch the draft, react. If a trade goes up, might have to react to it live. But so far, oh, that would have been dope if he snagged that. I mean, Baker definitely looks like he's got some speed. Like he can really threaten deep. Right now, the offense doesn't look all that great. Come on, give us a Javon Baker special. That's not Javon Baker. Wait, I'm so confused. What just happened? Oh, that was a handoff. All right. All right. Got me. Looked like a designed rollout, maybe quick screen with the underneath handoff. That's a nice play. Ooh, got him. We're going to target our guy, Javon Baker. Let's go. Throw it to Baker. That's not Baker. They don't want to see us thrive. All right, we'll do a couple more. If they don't throw it to Javon, we'll dip out of here. They don't want to see Javon Baker thrive. That's what it is. Oh, is that him? Is that him? We finally get some Baker? Oh, that's just some good old fashioned trickery, but resulted in a touchdown for Javon Baker. Oh, they're catching Oklahoma sleeping. They are really worried about that quarterback running. Woo! Oh, Baker with the point? That's him, right? He's one, right? You see the little point right here? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Oh, he blow it. Did he blow a kiss? Oh, spicy. All right. Yeah, I gotta watch a little bit more of them. Oh. But man, it's gonna be wild to see how everything turns out. Oh, we got Steph in the chat. What's good, Steph? I'm so sick. This is definitely probably gonna be a short one today. Oh goodness, I'm praying to the football gods that they spare me tomorrow. I wake up, I don't spend all night coughing my lungs out, and we're ready to rock on draft day. Last night was pretty fun. So this is now the second year that me and my son, my oldest son, have started watching draft day as like a pre-draft tradition. Um, and I like it too because he wanted to watch it. I was like, I of course wanted to watch it. And he was like, "Hey, we got to do draft day. We got to watch draft day before the draft." I was like, "My dog, let's do it." It was funny watching it play out and what they gave up in that movie to move up. Sonny Weaver gave up seventh overall, the first round, the next 2 years to move up to number one. And they were just like, "Oh, what a fleece. Whoa, what a terrible trade." And I'm like, wait a second. I was like, wait a second. The 49ers gave up 13 and 2 first round draft picks to move up to 3. I was like, and a third. I was like, I was about to save. I was like, that's about to save. I was like, oh. Did you guys know that Bo Callahan didn't have any of his teammates at his birthday party? red flag, man. And his agent was P. Diddy, red flag. I totally forgot about that part. His agent was P. Diddy, red flags all over the place on Bo Callahan. That's a guy that you know, makes it look effortless in regards to, how he plays the game and but the character, right? Well, what did it come down to in the in the movie Draft Day? Came down to the intangibles. Oh boy. That's a conversation we're not ready for. It came down to the intangibles. Good movie. Good movie. We need to tackle. I'm really looking forward to. I like Blake Fisher. I'm really glad that I watched Joe Walt's tape because I came away really liking what Blake Fisher looks like, and he's young, and I think he has the ability to develop. And I think he could even compete at right tackle. If you wanted to take him at 63, I'd be okay with that. But I mean, I would say that what I've seen so far with Blake Fisher, his tape looked better than Roger Rosengarten. Roger Rosengarten is such an interesting evaluation. He tests super well. I don't know if you guys saw the highlight. His highlight tape looks like he's a certified lock first round draft pick. It is a phenomenal highlight tape. But the problem is he also has a low light tape, and it's just trying to figure out. It's somewhere in the middle. He's somewhere in the middle of some of the highlights that he has and some of the low lights that he has, and just trying to figure it out. To me, what I saw from Blake Fisher was more consistency. He's really consistent. And I think, for me, after what we've seen with Spencer Burford, because that's what I would assign the issues with Burford. Burford's issues aren't with his size, his speed, or his physicality. He's built like a first round offensive lineman. Burford looks like a prototypical guard, right? Like he has all the traits. He struggles with consistency. He struggles with consistently doing the small things right. And that's ultimately what has gotten the 49ers into more trouble on that offensive line. And I also think Colton McKivitz has taken some heat for that as well. But that's the thing. It's like Spencer Burford still has the opportunity to be a better player. He could develop, and if he can close that gap of the inconsistency part of his game, he could be a good player. But that's what scares me about Rosengarten is I just see too much inconsistency. That scares me. Foster later, I wouldn't mind that either. I wouldn't mind that. There's a couple guys that I wouldn't mind later. Brandon Coleman, I wouldn't mind later. I see him more as a guard. Let's see, who are the guys that I wouldn't mind later? Because I really think that if you're not getting one of the top guys who are going to challenge right away, like you might as well just punt and go somewhere else. There's a couple guys. I'm curious where Patrick Paul goes. His his stock is all over the place. Kingsley feels like one of the biggest droppers, I would say, from this situation. It feels to me like fans have Kingsley higher than like what the NFL views Kingsley right now, which is interesting. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. Dominic Punai is a guy who I think can play all 5 spots, but he's best suited at center or guard. Out of Kansas. I've never talked about Christian Mahogany, but I like him as a guard, potentially a center. Zach Zinter, I think, is okay. I don't think he's special one way or the other. Johnny Wilson, a tight end or a wide receiver? Johnny Wilson's huge. I would keep him at wide receiver for now. I mean, obviously his height is crazy. He doesn't run particularly slow. 4.52, same as George Kittle. Could he play tight end? Potentially. But 6'6", 231 pounds. You need to add about 20 pounds for my liking in order to start calling him a tight end. Doesn't mean he can't develop into that. But I would say it would be a challenge. My apologies. Did I see Blake Fisher against Louisville? I did not. Oh, my goodness. Oh, all right. I hope I feel better tomorrow. I think I might cut this one short. I'm dying. It's been a long day. We got the draft tomorrow. We'll get all the drama squared away one way or the other. We'll figure it all out. But there's a good chance I'll have a watch party. We'll just vibe out. Watch the draft. I'll do my work. We could just vibe out. And we'll go from there. Oh. But appreciate all you guys for tapping in tonight. It's a late one. But about this time, we should be picking, I would say. We should be on the clock tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to try to do a live probably before the draft. And then we'll do our stuff. Shout out to all you guys. I'm out of here for now. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see